What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we are taking a look at another viewer's car. This is Gijs, his Audi RSQ3. It is a 2015 car, which means that it is a facelift version, which is good because it looks a lot fresher and it has a little bit more power than the pre-facelift. Gijs bought this car at the same time as his brother Bart bought the A45. You might have seen on our channel as well recently. They came together today, and when his brother bought the A45, Gijs bought this RSQ3 because he has a dog and he needed a bit more practicality in his car. So it is like a family RS3 basically, which is nice. I'm going to show you around it today, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. Now, it is, unfortunately, I have to say, it is a black car with an extended black pack. So everything is black. The accents in the bumper, the grille, everything is black. And then Gijs added this red Audi logo, which I'm not too sure about, I have to say. RS logo in the grille there. But why do I say too bad? Because you also have a matte aluminium pack available for this car. Now, I know that Gijs didn't spec this car himself, so it's not his fault, but the previous owner, or the one who spec'd it, should have selected the matte aluminium pack for this car, because that means that you get like aluminium parts, accents in the bumper, grille, the mirrors, the window surround, stuff like that. And it's like classic Audi S and RS look, you know, back in the day when the RS4 and the RS6 looked like that with the aluminium parts. I love that. I think it looks so much cooler. So this is like very sinister. I have to say it's also very under the radar. So maybe that was the goal, that it completely blends in, and it's actually quite hard to tell that this is an RSQ3 apart from this badge and the Quattro logo in the grille there. And of course it looks a bit more aggressive at the front, but other than that it is super inconspicuous. You do get these wheels, of course. These are like the classic RS wheels from this day and age. These are 20-inch 255 Vredestein Giugiaro tires. And then behind that, as you can see, we've got the wavy brake discs from Audi. Now, this was introduced, I think, around this time by Audi. I think for a couple of reasons. One, it comes from motocross, so it's basically designed like that, so the dirt comes off more easily. But it also saves weight because you need less metal, of course. It is more expensive to produce though, but I think it also looks pretty cool, and it's different and it sets it apart from others. So I think that's why they did it as well. Also, the brake pad overlaps like the empty part basically, so you get a bit of brake pad cooling from that. But because you have less metal, it also runs a bit hotter. So in the end, I'm not sure if braking performance is better than you would have with a round disc, but anyway, it's vented and it looks cool, so there you go. Passive dampers all around, so not adjustable. Black window surrounds, everything blacky black. Yeah, not really much to show you. At the rear we've got new lights for the facelift, of course, RSQ3 badge, and my favorite thing about the exterior of this car, single exit exhaust. I love that. Bart just told us that Gijs, his brother, frequently got asked by car spotters if it's a fake because it only has one exhaust, which I think is just hilarious. Get your facts straight, youths. The youths of today don't really know what this car is about, of course. It's just a proper exhaust. No bullshit. I love that. It's just, I feel like when they first introduced the car, like the first generation RSQ3, they were like, okay, let's just do it as cheaply as possible. We'll just put a 5-cylinder in the Q3 and we'll see if there's anyone who wants to buy it. And I think that's also why they just went with a single exhaust. Just go the easiest way. Okay, so electric tailgate, nice and practical, big boot, proper rear leg room as well. That's actually quite good. And then engine wise, of course, this is why this is a great car, because you have, oh, that's deep, because you have the 2.5 liter 5-cylinder in this case, the facelift, as I said, gets a little bit more power. So 340 horsepower, 450 newton meters of torque. The pre-facelift had 310 horsepower. And then with the facelift, they also introduced the performance version, which gets a bit of extra stuff around the car, but also gets 367 horsepower and 465 newton meters. So that's like RS3 spec. This is a little bit tuned down, 340 horsepower, but still very, very nice. 0 to 100, pre-facelift 5.5 seconds, facelift 4.8, performance version 4.4. So pretty good performance, I would say. Top speed 250 kilometers an hour. And as I said, we've got passive dampers, so nothing to adjust, which means you have to rely on Audi's setup, which is actually pretty good. It's kind of soft, which I quite like. So let's go to dynamic. Oh. So nice. It sounds so good. Interior wise, we've got these RSQ3 seats. They are okay, not the most supportive ones, but they are comfortable. And then a relatively basic interior, I would say, even with these twisty knobs. Seat heating, we've got that. We've got a CD player. That's great for your mixed CDs. And then of course you've got like a now outdated system, but who cares? The MMI, everything is in here. I think the only things you will use is like your telephone and the radio and stuff like that. And the CD player, of course, for your get side mix CDs. So 7-speed dual clutch transmission, S-tronic. And let's go. We've got the Haldex 4-wheel drive system, which means that you have a permanent 4-wheel drive system, but it is front wheel biased. But it actually works pretty well. It sends power to the rear in a good way, and you notice it, so you can actually use it to change the characteristics of the car. And that sounds very nice. So for the facelift, apparently one of the best changes pre-facelift to facelift is the fact that they lowered the seat by 15 millimeters because it was way too high. It's still pretty high, I have to say, but it kind of, yeah, it fits the car, right? This is more like a family performance car, so you know, everyone has to be able to drive it. Your wife, your girlfriend, maybe even your kids. It needs to be comfy. It needs to be easy to drive, and it is, I have to say. You get in it and you just drive it away. It's nothing fancy, it's not spectacular. But when you put it in dynamic and put the gearbox in sport, it's actually quite good. And I love the suspension. So I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but if I hit the throttle, the front raises, and if I let off, it dips again. There's a lot of movement, and I quite like that. It feels like I don't know, it feels like a little rally car or something like that, you know? It feels like I could actually rip down a rally stage in this car. So handling wise, of course, that does mean that there's a lot of body roll, but as soon as you get it set, it's very good. Steering, you know, as we're used to from Audi, it's kind of dead. It also changes with the driving mode. So if you go to dynamic, it's heavier and it's not great. So traction control off, gearbox in sport, launch control. Oh, that is quick. So that should be 4.8, 0 to 100, which is nice. Whew. I like it. I like it more than I was expecting, to be honest. It sounds really, really good as well. These older 5 cylinders by Audi, they sound just so much better. And it feels a bit older, which I like. It feels a bit more like a car and less like a computer with a 5-cylinder. Okay, so I'm getting old. I noticed that I say stuff like this more and more. Like, it used to be better. It just is. I can't, you know, I know what it sounds like, but it used to be better. Oh, lovely. Can you imagine putting like a serious off-road suspension setup on this thing and then tune it, and you have like a crazy machine. All right, so we're going onto the Autobahn. Top speed, as I said, 250 kilometers an hour. Let's just put it in sport for the Autobahn. That's not bad. As I said, once it sets, it's okay. It's just a little wobbly around the edges, but once you've got it into the corner, it sort of does what you expect it to do, which is nice. So full throttle. Very comfy, quite quick. Beautiful. I'm looking at these beautiful analog dials as well. I said this in Bart's A45 as well. These old analog dials are just so nice to look at. That's 250. Have to let off here. Couple cars. But that's very nice. I mean, it's a very nice car, and I like the duality of it. If you keep it in drive and comfort mode, it's very relaxed and very, you know, quiet, comfortable, smooth. But then when you put everything into attack mode, it actually feels like an RS3 that has been raised. Like, it's very well done. Ah, you want to do battle, young Kia? Here we go. Well, that's not bad. Kia Soul. So the higher body and higher suspension and whatever, everything, the higher car in general, it does mean that it's a little bit more sensitive to crosswinds and stuff like that, of course. But it feels nice, it feels comfy, it feels stable. Got a few bumps here. Yeah, that's good. We have to slow down here for the roadworks. Picks up well. He's going left. Yeah, there he goes. No indicator. I don't need an indicator to see if someone goes. It's a gift. It's like a sixth sense. Is it Kia Top Speed Day today? What is happening? So, I like it. I like it. Bart and Gijs, both brothers, are actually looking to upgrade their cars. So I'm curious to see what they will buy next, and they are both very welcome to come back, of course, when they have a new car. But I have to say, I really liked both of these cars, and and it's always good to revisit older cars, because as I said in the A45 video as well, everything changes and you have to like reset your expectations, and your, I don't know, your view changes as well, because now we're like, everything that's old is better. And back then we were like, oh, this Audi doesn't sound that good, it's not that loud, but now you're like, oh yes, please. So it's good to drive it again. So we'll see if we get some more space on this side. It's quite busy. So here we go. He's also going for it. It is top speed day today. What is happening? I love the Autobahn. Everyone is just having fun on their way to work. How cool is that? That's the most beautiful thing about the Autobahn. It's just, it makes every trip worthwhile. So that's 256. We have to 257. I just saw there. We have to get off here, so I have to let go. But that is not bad. A really nice family car with a 5-cylinder that sounds great. It just drives well. It's a comfortable car and very suitable for the family. So yeah, great car. Guys, thank you so much for taking it to us and for letting us have a go in it. Really appreciate it. To you guys, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video, this playlist. Let us know in the comments if you want to see. What the hell? What's he doing? What's 80? It's an 80 zone. He's overtaking on the right next to an exit. What is wrong with him? Crazy, man. So let us know in the comments if you have a particular car you want us to feature on the channel, and we'll go look for it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.